Yes. Okay, come on. Yeah, we got cars.
Coming up, our final race, 22 race, right, Saturday, and we're wrapping it up now.
Right.
Showroom stock speed.
The last, but certainly not the least, of 22 feature events in the Champion Sparkplug Road Racing Classic will decide the national driving champion in Showroom Stock C. This is the least powerful and perhaps the slowest of SCCA's Racing Classic, but it is one of the most action-packed races we've seen all weekend. On the pole, Fred Fiala, an architect from Illinois, with a Volkswagen Rabbit, as are all the top 10 qualifiers. Alan Salerno is on the outside pole from Massachusetts. In row number 2, Darrell Cook from Texas and Dean Todd from Chicago. B.J. Greber from Missouri in the 3rd row with Sammy McSpadden from Texas. In row number 4, Doug Farrow of Minnesota and Californian Bill Cadenhead. Ron Idner out of Minnesota shares row 5 with Dick Kaufman in Richmond, Massachusetts driver. Volkswagen Rabbits proliferate the field in Showroom Stock C, along with 2 Ford Pittos, an Opel, a Gremlin, a Dodge Colt, a Plymouth Arrow, and a Ford Fiesta. Datsun safety car leads them underneath the bridge. These cars are absolutely stock, just the way they would come out of the showroom, with the exception of a roll bar and seat belts, fire extinguisher, and other safety paraphernalia.
Any other cheating that you can manage to pull off without anybody knowing.
Hunting down for the green flag at Showroom Stock C. There will be no start. We've got another new starter up there, and he's going to be his hero. Yeah. I like the line. No, that was good. Yeah, we will. We'll wait for the backstretch if you don't mind. Any extraneous, these things will be slow enough at race speed. Any extraneous pace laps are going to take a knee. No, is that right?
The wreck lot on the street.
I told you some of these guys drive the way. Can we get the number on that outside pole car, please? Oops. We're looking. Okay, how about let's look at the back of the field, because we're missing our outside pole sitter car number 1. Okay, that's a story. Showroom Stock C. You see the Volkswagen Rabbit. Oh, it's not a story yet. This is Showroom Stock C, the slowest, but one of the most action-packed of all the 22 classes here at Champion Sparkplug Classic Weekend. On the pole is Fred Fiala of Berwyn, Illinois. Scheduled to be on the outside pole is this car, number 1, Alan Salerno of Peabody, Massachusetts. He qualified on the outside pole in this class where no racing modifications are allowed. These cars are right off the showroom floor, with the exception of roll bars, safety harnesses, and other safety equipment. But Salerno damaged his car early in the week and drove to town and bought a new one. This is a brand new Volkswagen Rabbit, and David, this one is right off the showroom floor.
Well, this is at least proving that showroom stock is really showroom stock, and it's going to be interesting to see if Salerno can make it up through this incredibly packed field of rabbits.
Fred Fiala is on the pole. Darrell Cook, the 3rd fastest qualifier, has moved to starting position number 2. 3rd on the grid, Dean Todd from Illinois. B.J. Greber of Missouri is 4th. In 5th, Sammy McSpadden from Texas. Minnesotan Doug Farrow starts 6th. Bill Cadenhead from California is 7th. Ron Idner of Minnesota is 9th. And Dick Kaufman from Richmond, Massachusetts will be the 9th starter, with Salerno back at the tail end of the field in that brand new number 1 car. These cars still have the mufflers, the headlights, the taillights, the bumpers, everything just off the showroom floor with safety modifications only as they come down to take the green flag.
And any other cheating modifications you can make without being spotted, of course.
Coming to turn number 1, it is a 5-car wide. Chase to the first turn. Looking for the lead is Fred Fiala. An outside car, Darrell Cook gets it. As the field all tries to square off through that first turn safely. Perhaps mindful of the incident in Showroom Stock A earlier in the weekend, all of these C drivers have gotten through the first turn without incident.
Oh, someone going across the apex of turn 3 there, trying to make up a bit of ground.
Well, that's shortcutting, but it won't help too much, will it, these off-course excursions?
So these cars got plenty of suspension travel, just regular old steel wheels and street tires, and they can afford to go off course more than most.
Leaning through the turn, nearly scraping the chrome off the door handles as they climb the hill up through the S's.
And there's car number 1, has already made up about 6 places.
Up at the front of the field, car number 91, Darrell Cook of Austin, Texas, who started on the outside pole, has the lead. A lot of heavy braking up there at turn number 6.
I imagine that on these Rabbits, these Volkswagen Rabbits, which are a front-engine, front-wheel drive car, there's the lead, waving the second car up to him. Look at this drafting. He's getting him to get close so they can try and pull themselves away from the field. He wanted them to touch his bumper, and that way they give themselves a really Class A1 draft down the straight.
Fred Fiala does not go for the draft. Instead, he runs side by side with leader Darrell Cook.
He would have probably done a lot better to have drafted him down there.
Still 2 abreast. Cook's car, little CB radio antenna. Shows you how stock it is. That gives him communications back to his pit. Leaning way over up in turn number 11. Fiala comes out with the lead. Cook is bounced back to the second spot, and B.J. Greber in car number 10 has moved up to third.
What I was going to say about these front-wheel drive Rabbits, of course, is that I'm sure a lot of these drivers brake with the left foot into these corners, which almost flat out for these cars, so they don't have to do much braking, and they brake, and of course it locks up the rear wheels, so they're starting to lift off the road as they turn into these corners. 10
Volkswagen Rabbits filled the top 10 spots on the grid, but an AMC Gremlin of Eli Gunnell out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Southeast Division champion, has moved from 21st spot on the grid up into the top 10. All the way up, in fact, to 4th position. And if you don't like that call, they'll tell you that he's just been lapped. Really? 71. 71 is on the lead lap? Is he really in 4th spot? Okay. All right, I'll call.
Where did he start then? 11.
Oh, 11?
Start 11.
Okay. All right, let's do a break and then we'll go. Fred Fiala of Berwyn, Illinois has the lead in Showroom Stock C over Darrell Cook and B.J. Greber. The top 10 spots on the grid were filled by these Volkswagen Rabbits, but an AMC Gremlin, a car that weighs almost twice as much as the Rabbits, though it has a twice larger engine, has rolled up into the 4th position. Eli Gunnell of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the Gremlin, has moved up to 4th to split this pack of Rabbits. Or is it a hutch of Rabbits? Thank you, Houston. Out of turn number 11, in sharp contrast to the cars on racing tires that we've seen this weekend. An awful lot of leaning over and tire squealing. In Showroom Stock C, 1 AMC Gremlin in the top 10, battling 9 Volkswagen Rabbits as they come to turn number 1. And the leader, Fred Fiala, the pole sitter from Berwyn, Illinois. And moving up through the field is Alan Salerno, who started last after he had to buy a whole new car when the one he attempted to qualify was damaged.
Alan Salerno is now lying 14th, which in 2 laps is not bad from 24.
Front 6 cars have broken a bit away from the field. 5 Rabbits and a Gremlin.
Look at that gaggle going on that top edge.
Oh, bump and bang for second spot of B.J. Greber. puts Daryl Cook off the road at turn 5.
Allowing the Gremlin to move up on both of them, who will now try and get down the inside as they come up to his last right-hander. If the Gremlin can get on the outside, that'll give him a bigger sweep.
Almost
as he, in fact, goes round the outside of both of them.
Greber got the second place by the bump and bang method, and cartwheeling off of turn 7 up on 2 wheels was the leader. The race is for third right here. Car number 91, Daryl Cook, the white red striped rabbit, battling the Gremlin of Eli Gunnell. And there is car number 1, who has climbed up from 24th spot up into the 12th position. That is Alan Salerno.
Making amazing ground on those 4 cars in front of him as well.
Considering that's a car that he just bought a couple of days ago.
Ooh, meeting the sandwich there, though, bite. Right.
Well, Daryl Cook has caught him from all sides in that white red stripe number 91 car. Greber punched him off the road to steal the second spot, and there goes the Gremlin. Moving up into second position is Eli Gunnell, who started back out of the top 10. Starting back in 11th position, he has moved up to second. He is, after all, the Southeast Division champion and has raced here several times during the season. Second place there. Gunnell and the Gremlin chasing Fred Fiala up the hill. Skip Gunnell has 4 victories in 1980. Coming to Road Atlanta, he has not won here. His best finish here was third this season so far.
Oh, on the grass. Gunnell on the grass, on the mud. Staying on there, too, going around that corner.
Yeah, that's a Gremlin. It's not an AMC Jeep, but you'd never know.
Carving each other up as they go through those S's.
I would hate to be a body man for a Showroom stock racing team. That 91 car, Daryl Cooks, has been center punched from both sides. And he, in fact, has dropped out of the top 5. He's gone back to 6th position. They're moving up on the inside to 8th place. That looked to be Alan Salerno. Cornering on 3 wheels out of turn number 7 is Fred Fiala from Berwyn, Illinois, the pole sitter.
Enjoying an incredibly healthy lead.
There, top of your screen, the number 1 automobile has moved up from 24th starting spot. That's Alan Salerno. He's gone past that pack of cars, and he runs now in the 7th position.
Because we can be pretty short that kind of stuff.
Second, third, and 4th positions. B.J. Greber goes to the left side of your screen. At turn 11, looking for second spot and doesn't get it. There's the Gremlin. Belonging to Eli Gunnell, who's already had 1 excursion off the course. Out of turn 12, you see the distance back to the first place car. At the top of your screen, braking for turn 1. Fred Fiala. Greber jumps to the inside at turn number 1, trying to leap his rabbit into the second spot. Sending Gunnell high, coming up out of turn number 1. But Gunnell will hold on to the second spot. Leader Fred Fiala rounding up out of turn 3 as the battle for second rages on.
Seems almost unbelievable that such a stock car as Fred Fiala's could have pulled out such an incredible lead on this battling mob for second place.
Perhaps for just that reason, all that battling for second going on, fighting, racing one another instead of racing the track as Fiala is doing.
That will be what's doing it.
Second, third, fourth, 5th position. Back to 5th as Daryl Cook has been banged up a bit. And in 8th spot is the Alan Salerno car that started at the back of the grid. The White Rabbit just now disappearing around turn 6. Bouncing out of turn 7. Way out of turn 7 in some cases. And into the back straightaway. Challen at the 4th position. The draft working second and third. Those 2 cars, Gunnell and Greber, working a tight draft, and now a draft is formed up between the 4th and 5th place machines. Not quite as effective. That big Gremlin has got a 6-cylinder engine, and it has a fair amount of power.
And it moves a lot of air, so the rabbits will slip in behind it.
Janelle, second spot with the Gremlin. B.J. Grebel riding in third position in car number 10, cornering on 3 wheels as they come by. And in the fourth spot,
car 0, Dean Todd.
Todd started third, and running fourth.
Todd's nickname is Zero. And there we see someone doing a bit of prospecting up the Georgia countryside.
Oh, there's a rabbit off in Mr. McGregor's garden patch.
Mr. Greber, wasn't it?
Certainly was.
Mr. Greber in Mr. McGregor's patch.
Mr. Greber was third, and he is now back to fourth position. Well, the Gremlin seems to be picking up its front wheel as the rabbits pick up their rear wheel. Coming up through the S's. There are the hay bales on the inside apex of the corners just to prevent cutting across the dirt. These cars run on street tires, and they have quite a lot of ground clearance. So by chopping off the corner and going across the dirt, you could conceivably pick up a bit of time. The leader, Fred Fiala, racing against the track as this pack of cars races each other. And the car that started at the back of the grid has now rolled into 7th position. That would be the number 1 car of Alan Salerno, adjusting the sun visors there as he comes down the backstretch.
Probably tuning the radio.
Might be.
Might be even listening for Jim Hutto.
We're working lap number 6. Working lap number 6 with 12 laps.
The fight for second is renewed. Dean Todd of Chicago leading. On the right of your screen, Eli Gunnell's Gremlin, and on the left side, fighting back is Darrell Cook. Cook ran in the second position and lost it when he got bounced out of turn number 5 by B.J. Greber. 6 cars involved.
Oh, on the grass, another 11 down the hill.
167 and 73.
That is the second time that car has been out there. Squeeze play at turn number 1 as Dean Todd gets second place. And almost going off into the Tulies was Darrell Cook.
Up to 4th goes number 1, Alan Salerno from the back of the grid. Fred Fiala enjoying an incredible lead in the showroom stock race. Not the sort of lead that one is accustomed to in this type of very, very close racing. There we see car number 1, Alan Salerno, moved up to 4th spot.
Watching the battle for second, Dean Todd, the Gremlin of Eli Gunnell, and the number 1 car of Alan Salerno, who brings 4 victories to Atlanta, but not the car that he won them in. That one was rather destroyed here during the week. And he's put his mechanical components into a brand new race car that he purchased just down the street this week. And the draft forms, a little dodgy back there. That 91 car of Darrell Cook, the one with the red stripes, he's been involved in a bit of banging around. 3 separate incidents at least. Tight draft. Watching your NASCAR program. Second place pulls away a bit. Dean Todd opening up a bit of margin on third place, Eli Gunnell and the Gremlin, and fourth place, Alan Salerno. Salerno has incredible count from 24th starting position to run fourth.
Shift his breakfast around a bit.
You notice how much these cars lean over on the side. They don't have the crisp, taut race car suspensions of the production, formula, and sports racing classes. You really have to toss one of these into the turn and pray, would you think?
That's right. Dean Scott relegated to 4th. As Alan Salerno and Eli Gunnell. Lights would be on soon. They won't
taped over. I think they will do. Fred Fiala heading down the short straightaway from turn 5 to turn 6 has a lead in excess of 10 seconds. On this battle for second spot, Eli Gunnell leading Alan Salerno and Dean Todd in the race for second, third, and fourth positions. Moving into the right-hand turn. Not a lot of room there.
Dean Scott locked everything up and took away third spot from Alan Salerno.
There's Gunnell's Gremlin. As the draft forms up, this back straightaway is almost 1 mile in length. That big boxy Gremlin will push a bit of air as car number 4, Bill Cadenhead of Hesperia, California, the 8th fastest qualifier, rolls to a stop at the entrance of turn 6. He'll call the AAA and be home in a jiffy. Second place battle remains a hot one. Dean Todd is now up to second. Salerno third, and the Gremlin of Gunnell is fourth. Fifth, number 91, Darrell Cook, who has been the sheet metal smasher, or the recipient thereof, on several occasions.
10 seconds. It is 0 and 1, then 71.
Oh, a lot of cliches. The charge to turn number 1, and taking away second spot is Alan Salerno, who started in 24th position in a car that he purchased a day or two ago and reassembled from the components of his battered race car, a brand new Showroom Stock C Racer. Absolutely stock automobiles with just a roll bar, shoulder harness and seat belt and other safety paraphernalia. They run on street radial tires. They have mufflers, headlights, turn signals, wipers, and everything. In fact, I'll bet you can get a good deal on one of these after this race is over.
Ooh, there's Alan Salerno taking to the fields, coming out of turn 5, allowing Dean Scott and Eli Gunnell to get by.
I imagine they do. No. Dean Todd, the second place car. At the bottom of your screen, there is Eli Gunnell's Gremlin being pushed down the back straightaway by Alan Salerno, whose numerous runs off into this Georgia countryside have not seemed to slow his car. Who's got up to 91, Judy? Can you give me the next couple? 91.73. 10. Thank you. Showroom Stock Sedan C. The smallest, slowest cars of SCCA amateur racing, but the action has been fast and furious. Watching the battle for second position as they come to turn number 1. Dean Todd, car number 0, has second. Looking for it is Eli Gunnell in the Gremlin. Tire smoke as Todd breaks for the turn, and Alan Salerno almost carves a piece out of his right rear quarter panel as they go up the hill and head for the S's. 9 of 16 laps complete as we've got an 8-car jam session for second spot. Gunnell works up the hill. Salerno now third, and there goes Dean Todd, shortcutting up the hill. I don't think any of these tires will go 50,000 miles, David.
They're not going to go 50,000 feet. That last little excursion cost Dean Todd a lot of ground.
Todd is now back to the 5th spot, I believe. Second place, Eli Gunnell. Smoking the tires off turn 7. With Alan Salerno running third, and moving up into the 4th spot is car number 73. That will be Doug Farrow of Deep Haven, Minnesota. B.J. Greber. 1/6 and 1/67. We lose car 10? We lost
91.
No, there he is.
Dean Todd we've lost.
That's not true.
173 already.
The race for second spot in Showroom Stock C. As coming out of turn 11 and down the hill, Eli Gunnell battling Alex Salerno for second and third spot. In fourth, number 91, that's Darrell Cook. In 91, being closely pursued by a former champion in this division, Doug Farrow, in 73. Up the hill, 2 by 2. A Noah's Ark procession of rabbits. As into the pits is Zero My Hero, Dean Todd. Will get 0 national championships today. He won't get to add another checkered flag to those on his back window as they add pressure to one of the tires on Todd's car. Second place battle, Gunnell and Salerno. Coming up the hill, they are 13 seconds behind the leader, Fred Fiala, who has disappeared from the field and may in fact already be headed home to Berwyn, Illinois. There is Fiala. There is Fiala.
On the way home.
Now let's get that synchronized. There is. Go ahead.
In that rabbit, he went throughout and about a 10-second
Oh, okay. Fred Fiala's going out for sandwiches.
Fiala just got going through turn
I think we had a better race last night.
Second place battle between
In the citation of Monza. Fred Fiala appears to be on his way home to Berwyn, Illinois with the Showroom Stock C national driving title. He has a 14-second lead on second place car. Last identified. Yes. Here's the ground one. That must be the race before. Fifth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Second place, Eli Gunnell and Alex Salerno for third. Rounding turn number 12 and back to the start-finish line. Behind them, car number 91. In the fourth position is Darrell Cook. These stock automobiles leaning way over on their stock springs and suspensions. Well, if the Volkswagen and American Motors people were here, I think they'd be shaking their heads at what their cars are being put through. The way some of these rabbits lean over, I think I'd want Dramamine for a sponsor for this division. I think our cameraman Steve would concur. Must be quite a chore, David, to stay in the seats of these cars. Oh, Zero My Hero.
You need a very good seat belt to hold you into the seat, of course, apart from anything else.
Well, those seats, most of them in these stock automobiles don't offer very much support.
That's why you need a good seat belt to hold you in it.
Eli Gunnell, second place car. Alan Salerno in third.
Third as they came out of turn 5. He's got about 56 positions in the inner turn 6, where he has to brake rather hard. Fiala in the lead.
Cam Hunt. Oh, yeah. Literally a Sunday brunch. I think we can. I think we can win.
Alan Salerno making ground on Eli Gunnell in this tense, nail-biting final race here at the Champion Spark Plug Road Racing Classic, Road Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
This race is being sponsored by Harold Cole of Truxmore Industries of Richmond, Virginia, manufacturers of the Truxmore Packer waste disposal unit. Following the Showroom Stock C event, all of these cars will be inserted in a Truxmore Packer and hauled away for scrap.
Getting better.
And Jody Ridley gets all its sponsoring.
Over to turn 5, it's
Car number 91 is in the pits. Hard to distinguish from the cars in the parking lot, but that is Darrell Cook of Austin, Texas. As taking over second is Alan Salerno, driving the Volkswagen Rabbit. Ahead of Eli Gunnell in the AMC Gremlin. Down that little dip and up to turn 6.
Gunnell's brakes look as if they're going away. He had an exploratory pump there before he arrived at turn 6.
The skid marks up at turn 6, in part due to cars that did not pump to check to see if they had any brakes before they got there. This car is for sale, car number 50. We can make you a great deal on a slightly used Opel once this is over. Call Rick Nordgarten in Ellsworth, South Dakota. Car has very few miles on it, and it's only been driven on Sundays.
By a little old lady.
Actually, it's been driven right here after church, rather than to and from.
By golly, I thought that was a long car there for a minute.
Oh, it's actually 2. Sammy McSpadden out of Austin, Texas. A chemical engineer by trade. B.J. Greber of St. Peters, Missouri, as they battle for 4th position. Some of these racers actually drive these cars to work. The numbers are not painted on. They're required to be of the stick-on variety. In fact, in my neighborhood, we've got 2 showroom stockers. Just wish they wouldn't race around my neighborhood. Certainly. Get out there and dice with them once in a while. Fred Fiala enjoying what is truly a Sunday drive as the showroom stock C leader. Second place, Alan Salerno, who has come from last starting position, 24th, to run in the second spot in his Rabbit, ahead of Eli Gunnell in an AMC Gremlin.
Salerno using a bit more road there. I noticed that
this is one of Ford's better ideas. Close the door and the lights stay on. There's your typical Pinto, slow and sluggish. I think it's all that road-hugging weight that Ford was so proud of several years ago. Believe it or not, this race will also be 18 laps. Welcome to the 18 Days of Atlanta Showroom Stock C National Championship. There's a strong race back there for 4th spot as Sammy McSpadden is being pushed along by B.J. Greber. 2 cars working as one. If McSpadden hauls his boat with that car and he's got a trailer hitch on it, Greber would have to be hooked to it. And McSpadden wants to run a 3rd spot. Oh, sideways and just regaining control. Here comes Gunnell.
over the bump strips, rattling his teeth. His car is definitely losing brakes. It'll be interesting to see if he has to give them a practice dab going down the straight here.
Well, he cut McSpadden's throat off at turn 11. Took away the line. And it's like any kind of a battle between a little car and a big one. The little car loses. So McSpadden had to get on the brakes, and you saw that tire smoke.
There you can see the flash of lights from Gunnell's car. Fairly healthy lead for Fred Fiala. Alan Salerno's made a break and is in a very safe second spot.
Well, the fight has been for third. Gunnell, McSpadden, and Greber for third, fourth, and fifth positions. The Gremlin is twice as heavy as those other cars he's racing against, but it's also got twice as big an engine. And larger tires as well. These cars are allowed to run whatever size tire comes on the car. So the Gremlin has several advantages. Its only disadvantage is that it's heavy. Mr. Gunnell seems to like that particular patch of clay off turn 7. Into the pits is Ron Ittner of Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Dynatronics Rabbit. Shaking the front, looks like front suspension cover.
Just kicking tires.
Third and fourth is Sammy McSpadden in the back straightaway. has a run at Eli Gunnell. Once again, McSpadden tried it a lap ago and nearly got stuffed for his trouble. Down to turn 11. In a moment, where McSpadden tried it last time by. Gunnell has the line and holds third position. A quick glance in the mirror for our second place runner, Alan Salerno. Coming to turn number 1. Behind him, Gunnell, McSpadden, and Greber. There's McSpadden to the inside. Has to lock up the brakes as he got cut off again. That Gremlin has the widest back bumper of any car in the field, and at times it seems to stretch right across the entire racetrack, does it not?
Gunnell making life very difficult. McSpadden here. There's number 5. Car number Kip Andreas from Beaver Falls. People joke about upper bottom. Beaver Falls.
A lot of fun town names in Pennsylvania. Third place is the Gremlin.
This is the place for McSpadden to do it because the Gremlin's brakes just aren't up to it here.
And this is where you need him. And there goes McSpadden to the inside. Gunnell on the outside. McSpadden has the measure of the Gremlin. And there are the excited fans. Catatonic over this showroom stock battle. You guys just blew the race for third spot, which we almost saw it change. Sammy McSpadden from Austin, Texas has taken third place from the Gremlin of Eli Gunnell. There was B.J. Greber, the fifth place machine.
The Gremlin, of course, has just got that little bit more power down that long back straightaway.
1 mile down the back straight, which actually includes turns 8, 9, and 10. Let's go to Jockey Shorts for his insight into this competition.
Well, here's Eli Gunnell trying to hold off Sammy McSpadden in car number 73 as they go under the bridge for a 16th time.
This is Bill Fleming, your color man. There's a yellow one, a blue one, and a yellow one. Back to you, Jockey.
Well, the 2 yellow ones have got a black one in the middle of them. And here's a white one, number 1. The driver fighting with the wheel as this massive poor. Oh, there he goes.
Gunnell losing it and just missing McSpadden. Sammy McSpadden and B.J. Greber go up the hill and leave Eli Gunnell.
Eli Gunnell had the most incredible spin there and missed both cars somehow, or they missed him.
Taking the leak outside his camper is this concerned citizen. Jockey, what caused that spin in turn number 1?
Well, I just think it was over-exuberance on the part of the driver, Eli Gunnell. I think he just used a bit too much power, and the back tyres couldn't take it, and he just spun the car round. Of course, a tremendous car control after he lost control. He managed to miss the other 2 cars in the confrontation. But he's a very lucky man.
He must be a devotee of Neil Bonnet, whom you have commented on often for his
Well, Neil Bonnet drives, he's a blocker. There are alerts.
Let's go back to that shot for just a moment. See this gentleman waiting to add a new patch to his jacket. As he stood there now for 11 straight years.
It's McSpadden, car 67, in the third position. Right behind him, car 10, B.J. Greber in fourth, and now moving into fifth position.
Now coming into view, it's the blue car. Sammy McSpadden and B.J. Greber continue to have a dogfight battle for third. There's the second place machine, Alan Salerno, who started way back in last spot on the grid.
And there were sparks coming off B.J. Greber's front end then when he put the brakes on.
Appears that he has ground his brakes to dust.
No dust.
Well, all the weight is on the front wheels of these cars. There they are again.
He's down to the backing plates on his disc brake pads, I would imagine.
Leader Fred Fiala, car number 12. The red Volkswagen Rabbit that sat on the pole, jumped out to the lead on lap number 1. And now we'll call this for real, the last reel of this vintage motion picture, Rabbit Madness. Alan Salerno's second place car coming up the hill. Sammy McSpadden, B.J. Greber grinding away the front end of his Volkswagen Rabbit, and former national titleist Doug Farrow in car number 73. And there is Gunnell, whose spin out in the first turn has cost him a shot at second spot. Fred Fiala looking in the outside mirror, looking for the competition. No goal in sight. And there is Salerno, the second place machine. He has really had an incredible day, coming all the way from the back of the grid in a brand new car, just purchased down the street this week after his race car was wrecked. Sammy McSpadden and now B.J. Greber, the fourth place machine, coming by. Back up front to Fiala. This drive home in Sunday night traffic will probably be more eventful than the race he has had in Showroom Stock C today. Fred Fiala coming down to take the checkered flag and become the 22nd National Driving Champion, crowned this weekend by the Sports Car Club of America. And Alan Salerno, who would have started in second spot and given Fiala a run for the money, but that he crashed his car early in the week and had to buy a brand new one to run in the Showroom Stock category. Third, the dark-colored car is Sammy McSpadden. Fourth, in yellow, B.J. Greber. And the checkered flag falls for the last time on Champion Spark Plug Classic weekend. Where's the Pinto? Fred Fiala, driving out of Berlin, Illinois, the pole sitter, 42 years old, started racing when Showroom Stock became an SCCA class back in 1977, offered the budget-minded alternative to drivers wishing to get started in racing, or those who don't wish to pursue a full-time racing career and a full-time dissolution of their savings account. Fred Fiala comes to Road Atlanta with 6 consecutive victories in SCCA competition. The crowd is really hanging in there because now the corner workers at the 12 stations around the track will put out the cocktail flag, and there's the thumbs up sign for Fred Fiala.
Well, King, I'll probably see you down at the car down section.
Eli Gunnell, bored of the race for second spot, almost found a way to do away with it entirely, as his 2 cushion bank shot off Sammy McSpadden, and P.J. Greber comes up short.
Sammy McSpadden was lucky.
Sure was. Yeah. Dick? Oh, you did it? You told him up in the truck? Okay. We were wondering about the Ken Slagle thing. The stewards wanted to take a look at that because there's an inquiry about it. That was the Triumph that flipped that we did the replay on several times, that yellow Triumph. I guess they are. Judy, they want to come by and see it? Okay. You want them to come by here or come to the truck?
Do you want us to put a voice on the replay of that Gunnell thing? No.
We're not going to use this race, are we?
I hope not. Who is that?
Okay. One thing I would like, because all this stuff is a mess, is just go right through that file and grab one of each of those bios on everybody for the whole weekend. Yeah. Is that the one with everybody in alphabetical order? That's what I want. In fact, you might